Hello everyone, welcome back to a very, very special Backlot Banter video. My name is Tanner Dexter. I'm joined by my prognosticating co-host Tanner Dexter. We're here to talk about something frankly I'm really excited to talk about. Summer movie season. It's here, and we're going to be talking about what our predictions for the top 10 highest grossing films domestically are going to be. And basically this just gives us a chance to talk about a bunch of movies that have come out, make a bunch of money, and just play a game. Try to outguess one another, because guess what? Who the hell knows how well we're gonna do? Tanner, what are you doing?
I'm just testing myself, Doug. I'm testing my mental faculties right now because
I see.
there were so many numbers flying around in this beautiful mind of mine that I'm not sure if I'm gonna have it all together. I'm trying to put it all together for this video. Yeah. And for you, the viewer, because we love you, the viewer. And might I add, but we're, it's harsh love, it's tough love, because we've determined through
we love it. We love the belt,
Yeah. Oh boy, we've determined that 85% of you aren't subscribed to
we've got people back
Banter.
there crunching the numbers. We got a whole room of people at their computers trying to figure out why. What's going on,
So if you can just lessen their work and the taxation on our minds and just subscribe to Backlot Banter.
Yeah, just do it.
It's not hard.
No. Especially all you people who subscribe from the Wish video. What are you doing? Actually, no. Wait, good on you who you subscribe from the Wish
You're
video.
about to chastise
them. Hold on. All you people who watched my Wish video and didn't subscribe. There's over 1,000 of you. What the hell's up with that?
Yeah. We should have each new viewer on a video should already be a subscriber. That's the way I see it, Tucker.
Absolutely. And I subscribe to every YouTube channel that I watch every video from.
Absolutely. I live by it.
Oh, God. Oh, now, after the longest trying to get you to subscribe opening we've ever done, let's talk about our top 10 films that are going to make a lot of money this summer. Tanner, do you want me to hit you with my number 10, or do you want to go first?
You just hit me with your number 10, Tucker.
All right. I am going to hit you with a number 10 that you might feel is a little bit low, but frankly, I think this movie is going to underperform, and that is Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. Okay. And we have some light predictions on what sort of range these films will be making domestically. I only went for mostly on the hundreds or the 50s marks, just to give me some nice gaps, but that's not how movies work. They make weird amounts of money. They stack up against one another in really strange ways, but for Transformers: Rise of the Beasts, I have it hitting about 200 domestically. Okay. I think it'll do better than Bumblebee. I think that the sale of a lot of these Transformers and I think a little bit better marketing campaign is going to let it to do fine and obviously make the top 10. But when the Transformers was big, this should have been in the top 3. But we do not have that sauce
we are,
anymore.
Of course, in a new era of Transformers. I just quickly pulled up Bumblebee, the last entry in the Transformers franchise. Only pulled out 127 domestic. And Tucker, here's what I have to say here, because as you said, we're just throwing out some rough guesstimates for the domestic totals here. I think you're starting a little high, my friend, if I can't say so myself. Because if you look across, previous years' top 10s, even in years where the box office was alive and well, your number 9 and 10 weren't putting up over 175.
Oh, interesting.
So I think you're starting a little high, but hey, you know what?
That's totally fair. Honestly, Tanner, I didn't look at that. I didn't do that kind of comparison. So that's interesting information. I think what's going to become more apparent as we talk about each of these films, and then in the future look back on where we got it wrong, because we're going to get stuff wrong. The problem comes in what is going to be taking up market share in an incredibly crowded summer. And a movie like Rise of the Beasts could make $200 million on its best day, but it's also going to be surrounded by other things that are taking up box office oxygen and mind share.
Yes, of course.
So you're probably right that I am starting too high on this, and I can, I guess, mentally, if you want to, for the next few, knock my numbers down a little bit.
I'm just feeding you some info. But Tucker, as you said, we are in a very stacked summer. You get any given film on this list is getting like 1 week go. Like it's got its opening
at its best.
And then you have like a lower profile thing that's still like a big studio release, and then we're back to another massive studio name release. That's on the best case scenario for some of these films.
Yes.
But like
and our range, by the way, from here on this list is from the release of Guardians 3 at the end of this week, or by the time you're watching this, so around, I don't know when to put this up, but around when Guardians releases. We're recording this before Guardians comes out, so we don't know what the opening weekend of that is. Through the end of August. That's our summer movie season.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, so, Tucker, you hit me with your number 10. Allow me to hit you with my number 10.
And
my number 10 is Barbie. And I was humming and hawing about a lot of these films.
For like 45 minutes, you were like, oh, what's this going to make?
And I was really humming and hawing about this because, as I posed to you, Tucker, for a lot of these, I looked in the previous years. I tried to find comparative films, previous films in the franchises, things that were similar. What's a film that's like Barbie?
No.
I was hard-pressed to find one.
I walked into the room, I said, Tanner, don't even try. It's not worth your time. There's not a movie like this one.
Tucker, let me tell you, I tried despite you specifically.
To spite me and despite me.
Precisely. So, what I pulled up was actually about 6 films here that I felt are kind of in the stratosphere of Barbie in the loosest sense.
Yeah.
The highest gross, I have them ordered by domestic gross here. So the highest grossing of which was Crazy Rich Asians, which pulled in 175 at the box office. Below that is Elvis, who what I was thinking there is like another like giant American cultural hegemon thing, like Elvis, Barbie's, I think, of a similar ilk, and that like American cultural touchstone. That pulled in 150. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, another fun, somewhat blockbuster, rated R, of course, but from a creative that people have that has a lot more name recognition than Greta Gerwig. That pulled in 140. Free Guy, I was like, I don't know, comedy with a big star, and I was like, 120 for Free Guy. Ghostbusters, female lead there, another comedy. Cultural touchstone again with a property there, 128. And then another female-led comedy, Girls Trip, pulled in 115. So
you got a big range there, buddy. Where's this landing?
All those ended up in the top 10 of their respective years as well.
Oh, gotcha. Girls Trip was in the top 10?
Number 10, to be fair.
Okay.
But I'm going to say it's going to be in the upper end of that, so I'm going to say 175 for
175?
Barbie.
Okay. And that was just about that was actually more than the cutoff that you were talking to me about earlier, saying that the 9 and 10 usually were in the 125, range.
I'm just like, there's no... Barbie's bigger than Crazy Rich Asians. It has to be.
Absolutely.
So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well, although box office seasons where that was a healthier year, I don't... You can go back and forth a million ways on this. I'm going to say 175 and dust my hands of it.
Yeah, and what's interesting about this is I had to make some big sacrifices to get this top 10. There are, I think, like 15 films that could possibly, depending on what the box office shakes out to be in this top 10. And Tanner, I did it. I cut Barbie. Barbie is not on my list. Okay. I don't have the confidence that that movie is going to be as big as maybe I think it should be. I am excited for that film. I want it to make a lot of money. But I think, if we're just talking worldwide, I don't think how much international appeal it has.
Yeah, that's not.
It doesn't impact our predictions here. Yeah. But even trying to think of what the worldwide number of this movie is going to be, I don't see it being that high. And then I'm like, okay, when I break that down without the international market and just the domestic, I'm like, yeah, I guess the 150 range is kind of where I'm landing as well. But obviously, my mind is skewed slightly higher on my numbers here.
I just think, Tucker, and maybe I'm TikTok poisoned here. Well, actually, that's undeniable. Sure. I am TikTok poisoned here. Yes. But I think there is just really this building thing of like Barbie, Oppenheimer, Barbie coming out.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. 100%. But is that enough?
I think it's so big. I don't think it's even like a niche internet thing anymore. I think it's kind of breaking out of that a little bit.
We should call my brother and see if he's aware of that.
I think he would absolutely know, frankly. And I'm
going to send him a feeler while we're recording this.
Sure, okay, sounds good. And I think it's even past that internet thing. I think it is like, people know Barbie. People see a movie. People see a funny movie, funny trailer with lots of faces that they recognize. They're like, I'll go see that Barbie movie. Sure, why not? Yeah. So that's why I'm putting it in my top 10. It's it's not super complex. It's just a good feeling that have been abound surrounding Barbie. So there we have it. Tucker, what's your number 9?
I am currently formulating my text that says, "Are you aware of the fact that Barbie and Oppenheimer release on the same day?" Does that sound good?
Yeah. Okay.
Hit send? Okay.
Yes.
All right. My number 9 is my big swing here, Tanner. I am putting a lot of faith in Disney this year.
All right.
and in a place that I don't think many people are putting a lot of faith in them.
Okay, I think I know what you're going to say
My
here.
number 9 is Haunted Mansion.
Okay.
Haunted Mansion, I think, has the chance to sneak into this top 10.
Okay.
I currently have it at 250. I could easily be swayed to lower that down. But my mental comparison was a film like Jungle Cruise that released in 2021.
Yeah.
And that film had, I think, like 120 domestic, but day and date on Disney Plus.
Of course.
Significantly depressed box office.
Yes.
If you thought like last year had some weird seasons, go back to 2021, like, what the hell happened here? I think that if they market this right and try to capture the energy of we're doing another big live action Disney movie with faces
Yeah.
I think they could push this one to being in that top 10. Not very high, but getting like 250 domestic is like that's a good amount of money. And
yes.
I think that Disney can swing it. But we'll have to see. There's nothing about this movie yet, which is what's the only thing that's sort of holding me back.
There's a poster, there's a trailer that I actually saw for the first time about a week ago. And yeah, it looks fun. It doesn't give me bad Disney live action vibes, certainly.
Sure.
But I think what's important, I'm gonna harken back to my Barbie talk a little bit here and tie this into my number 9. This comes out a week after Barbie Oppenheimer, okay? Mm-hmm. And if you have people that are making the decision to go see one opening weekend, what are they going to see the next weekend, Tucker? They're probably going to see the other one.
Sure.
Yeah.
Maybe, but unless they're not into Nolan stuff and they are a kid or a family member or just a normal moviegoer, I think Haunted Mansion, a Disney movie with a lot of faces that they recognize that's more family friendly, brings in more people than Oppenheimer on week 2.
Yeah, okay. I see what you're saying. And Tucker, I don't disagree.
But also, one thing I thought you might say is for Haunted Mansion is this is releasing at the very tail end of the packed movie season. This is kind of the last sort of big movie coming out in that time. So a lot like what Mario had this month, that might give it a little bit more legs. I'm thinking also might give like all July movies a little bit more legs going into August. It's like, okay, I guess like, Gran Turismo and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles might like eat a little bit of box office air, but like the other movies, Barbie, Oppenheimer, Haunted Mansion, won't have that huge thing coming in the next 2 weeks to like knock its lunch out.
Yeah, that's a good point. And if people are looking for some spooks on July 28th, they can go over to Talk to Me, A24's horror movie.
Sure.
Tucker,
this movie's gonna be scary.
We can't write off horror movies this year. I think we've seen that,
Well, I don't have any horror movies in my top.
No, nor do I. But
so we're writing off horror movies a little bit.
But here's the thing. I think yes, but I think when you're putting it up against something like Haunted Mansion, which Disney's brand is fading a little bit. This summer is really the test for if the Disney Plus factor is hurting the studio's box office chances.
We've got multiple ways to test that this summer.
Exactly. I think this summer is really the test for that. And
we're going to be testing that and superhero fatigue.
Yes, of course. And if any film is going to fall victim to it, I think Haunted Mansion is one of those that people's like, I'll watch it when it's on Disney Plus. Anyway.
Okay, we just hold on. Breaking news from the field. I was not aware. Quote, Keaton Hazel.
No.
TikTok brain might... All right, hold on. We got another quote from the field. That'll be a hell of a double feature.
He's got and Tucker. You just brought another person over to my camp. Okay. All right. Here we go.
Well, I'm just saying TikTok might be skewed towards you watch movie TikToks.
Yes, that's a fair point.
Not TikToks.
Yeah. Okay. But Tucker, speaking of, I put at my number 9, Oppenheimer. I just had to pair these two films. Yeah. They are married forever, of course. Yeah. And I had to give the edge.
We will never forget this.
No, absolutely not. And I had to give the edge to Nolan because Nolan's had a pretty healthy box office track record. Yeah. Dunkirk made 189. Interstellar made 188. It seems like Christopher Nolan has a very dedicated box office going group of fans. And
Inception made almost 300.
Okay, well there you go. But that's also 13 years ago. I think we've transformed a little bit. We have Barbie. It's sort of antithesis. The Barbie factor. The Barbie factor. You cannot forget it. So I'm going with the two most recent numbers. And I'm going to say Oppenheimer makes around, I'm going to say 190 for Oppenheimer.
Sure.
You know, the Barbie Oppenheimer factor raises all ships, but Barbie, or just Nolan has a more dedicated audience. He's got the dads, the World War II dads. You cannot discount them. They're the ones who flew Top Gun Maverick across the finish line last year.
Yeah, and I think that Oppenheimer I also give the edge to, but I also give it the edge off my list because it's not on my list.
Yeah, well, okay.
Barbie and Oppenheimer I both expect to do solidly, but not make the top 10. I think that Oppenheimer I do give the edge to because it's a little bit easier to place. Is like, if you are into watching movies in theaters and you see the trailer for Oppenheimer, if you're into that movie, you're going to go see that movie.
Yeah.
Barbie, some people might see the trailer and be like, what? Huh? like what is the movie
that's a fair point.
about? Like, I think there's a solid chance that like a good chunk of the Barbie movie is not what we know it to be so far.
That's a good point.
It certainly has some divisive political elements that I think will cause controversy and scare some people away from the box office there. But Oppenheimer's just like, it's a historical movie from the big name guy. So like, if you want to see this year's this summer adult movie, you're gonna go to Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
So I do give it the edge for that reason.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about the whole like, people are offended by the Barbie movie. I don't know about that. Hey, listen.
I'm prognosticating.
Okay.
I see those articles coming.
I mean, listen. You can write a million articles. I don't know if your average moviegoer is gonna care. They're gonna be like,
That's fair.
Barbie. I know Barbie doll.
Yeah.
And go see Barbie movie because it's like, oh, this is pretty funny. I know Ryan Gosling. I know Margot Robbie. She's the one who sabotages all the box office chances of all the movies that she's in. Of course, I don't believe that. I'm joking. That's a joke. Of course, love Margot Robbie.
This will be the real test.
This will be the. Yeah, I guess so. Anyway, Tucker, what's your number 8?
My number 8. I'm putting faith in Disney. To bring back the people we need to.
Okay.
Pixar has been dead for like 4 years now. Elemental, I think they got to push this big. And the thing that really sold me on it was walking into the theater a couple days ago and seeing a gigantic Elemental standee on top, up high in our theater, in a place that I didn't even know they put.
No, yeah. We have like silhouette cutouts of classic movie characters. They just plastered that Elemental thing in front of Bugs Bunny, in front of I don't know, Clint Eastwood. Who else is
Indiana
up there?
Jones, Spider-Man, Shrek. It's
Optimus
crazy.
Prime. He's in. The Elemental stuff is in front of all of them. Elemental is on my list. A little higher.
Okay.
Because
we'll talk about that when we get there. Then
I do think there is this like harkening back to like your Zootopias, your Inside Out appeal, where, you know, a thing a lot of people have said about Lightyear is that it was confusing. We were in 2022, people weren't really sure about the box office things. They had still been trained to see Pixar movies on Disney Plus. Yeah. Has that been, you know, beaten out of the movie-going audience now, or is that still in their brains? We'll have to see. I'm gonna err on the side of it's gonna make it to the top 10.
So obviously, so am I. Yeah. Okay. I just hope, God, Disney don't fuck this one up too. I mean, seriously.
Yeah, I mean, they could very easily fuck it up. But anyway, Tucker.
But also, I do want to say one final element of this.
Okay.
Pun intended.
Yes.
Actually, not intended, but retroactively intended. Is that we no longer have Bob Iger saying that the animation is not for adults and that, you know, we're not going to put any real marketing behind this. Bob Chapek is back, and he likes animation. He likes when animation makes a lot of money. And you know what movies made a lot of money during his tenure before he left? Toy Story 4. Frozen 2. All these big movies made a lot of money, and especially like the 2015 to 2019 era. And we got to start like clawing our way back up to that. So when Toy Story 5 releases in 3 years, we're back to $1 billion, baby.
That's true. Okay, so Tucker, we'll get to my more thoughts on Elemental in a little bit, but I gotta say my number 8, which is Fast X.
Ooh, wow, that's pretty low.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. Here's why I put it this low. You look at the record here. Okay, we got Fate of the Furious at 226. Then we got F9 at 173 in 2021, of course. But I don't know. Is the Fast and Furious franchise fading in the minds of moviegoers?
Yeah.
I certainly hope not. But I think the facts are a bit undeniable. I think that the facts of the Furious. I think that post Paul Walker, people are like, okay, franchise is still going. They're doing crazier and crazier things, and that's cool, but I'm not really here for it week after week.
Yeah.
And, that's unfortunate. They're missing out. They're missing out, frankly.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Tucker? Give me some of your thoughts here, because I assume Fast X is on your list. You said it was
Fast
a
X
little low.
is on my list. It's a little bit higher, I think, only by the factor of who the hell knows what.
I meant to say yes. I'm putting Fast X at 200 million. I'm also looking at Hobbs and Shaw making 174 domestically. So that's where I'm landing.
Okay, well, actually, I'll share my thoughts when we get to that on my list. My number 7 is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, landing in at my predicted number, again skewing a little bit higher than yours, 275 million domestic.
Okay.
I think you can almost double what the first film did.
Okay.
I think that they have built up so much goodwill around this brand, around Miles Morales as a character. He had his own premiere video game for the launch of the PlayStation 5 console. And Sony, this is their big movie for this year. And I think this can only be bigger than we think it is.
Tucker, I'm going to bite my tongue. I'm going to bite my tongue until a little later in the video. How about that?
All right, he's got it higher. He's got it way higher. Look at this guy.
I'm going to bite my tongue. I have Elemental at my number 7. I have it at 225. I'll bring up some numbers on Lightyear. Of course, we mentioned made 118, a dismal 118. I'm say Elemental makes about 100 million more than that, but still, not quite up to those pre-pandemic Pixar days of your Inside Outs making 357 or your Zootopias making 341.
Yeah.
Still a far cry away from those, but still crawling your way back, as you were saying, Tucker.
Yes. Elio next year, buddy.
Elio next year, of course. Okay, Tucker.
$1,000,000 coming in, buddy.
Number 6.
Number 6 is where I have Fast X. Okay. And the reason that I'm very conflicted on this, because in my mind, Fast and Furious is it is one of the big franchises of all time.
Of course.
But in my mind, it's a bigger franchise than I think
it's a billion-dollar franchise, of course.
It is a billion. It's made multiple billions of dollars total, but one of the movies is a billion-dollar movie. I think this is going to be bigger than both Fate of the Furious and F9.
Okay.
I think that the amount of cast that they've gathered together for this film, this is the most big name actors that they've added to the cast in any of these films. I think since like 5 or something like that.
Yeah.
And this being positioned as one of the tentpole films of this summer, I think this is going to make a good amount of money. I have it at 300 million. But I also don't have it in my top 5 because I don't think the marketing on this movie has been that great. To be 100% honest. And maybe that's a point against me even having it this high, but like one okay trailer is really not enough of this. And of course, we're not going to get another one.
No, we are 2 weeks out from the release of this film, and
wow, one trailer?
Yeah, I don't know, Tucker.
What are they doing?
I don't know.
I have not seen any other marketing for this film, but I do think that like as the last 2 weeks start up, we have seen this actually with Guardians. They waited until the last second to start their marketing, and I've done a lot of Guardians marketing. I think that Universal will do that as well. And we're going to be getting YouTube ads, and we'll be scrolling on Instagram and be like, "The end of the road begins now." And it's going to be Dom Toretto's big, dumb, ugly face, and be like,
say Dom ugly. And it'll be Jason Momoa going, "Here they come."
Yeah. Fast X 300. What did you have it at again?
I had 200.
Okay, wow, I've got that a lot bigger than you.
Yeah, about 25 million more than what the Fast and Furious movies have been making recently. But I think 25 is a very small increment that a movie can make very quickly. So maybe I should put a bigger gap between the pandemic Fast and Furious movie versus the post-pandemic Fast and Furious movie. But anyway, Tucker, my number 6 is Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1.
I bite my tongue, Tanner.
Oh, I'm excited. Okay.
I bite my tongue.
All right. 275 million for Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Now we compare that, of course, to the previous installment from 2018. Mission Impossible Fallout made 220. I also think, Tucker, and this I think I'm tapping into your line of thinking. you can't deny the post-Top Gun Tom Cruise factor.
Absolutely.
But, is it a thing of, like, people see another, they're like, Mission Impossible, I haven't watched any of those movies, it's been a long time since the last one came out. Are they really gonna be like, I have to go see the new Tom Cruise movie, or are they gonna be like, I'll just rewatch Top Gun Maverick at home? Like, Tucker, I think of my parents, okay, and my parents knew about Top Gun Maverick coming out. They're like, of course, I love Top Gun, I love it from the 80s when they were our age watching that movie. And I think of their the reaction. Good God.
Yeah, Paul Walker's out there right now. Look at him.
I think of their reaction to Mission Impossible. And they're like, oh, the spy movies that they've made like 7 of now? Yeah, I mean, I could go see it, but I wouldn't really know what was going on.
Yeah.
I also don't know if that's a big factor for a lot of people. So I'm still obviously putting it in here at 275. I think it'll still be big, and I hope it's bigger than that. I would love this to be massive. And Tucker, it sounds like you think it's going to be massive.
I do, and we will get to that.
Okay.
But I think because we'll get to that when we get to that.
Yeah.
I'm going to share my number 5.
Okay.
Which at my number 5, I have, and I'm going to stop giving numbers. I realize my numbers are so skewed anyway. Like, what's the point? Like, I'm so off that like there's no point in me sharing them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Number 5 for me, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Okay.
I think that this can outperform Fast and Furious. I honestly have not done the research to compare it to the other Indiana Jones movies. Mm-hmm. I don't even know, frankly, if that's a fair comparison to make anymore.
Yeah.
It's been so long since Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and then that was even weird in and of itself. And then, of course, you got to go back even farther to get to the original trilogy. This is a different director. I don't know really what they're going to do with this, but I do think that it is something so different than we've seen from modern Disney that I think Disney can put a really interesting push on this movie as sort of self-counter-programming, an adventure movie from them to counter what we have, quote-unquote, usually gotten from them over the last few years is Marvel. Not really Star Wars anymore, but of course that was a big thing for a while, and animated stuff. And now they have Indiana Jones with a different flavor and a more prestige director behind it to put alongside those. So I think they can push this pretty far, and end of the indie story, this can get up there to the top 5.
Yeah. Tucker, I'll bite my tongue a little bit.
He's biting his tongue.
Okay. But I will say... Yeah.
We're going to need some bandages after this.
Oh, God,
Our tongues are going to be bleeding.
Oh, call us Hillary Swank and $1 Million Baby, because we are biting our tongue, baby. Anyway, Tucker, to answer your question, well, actually, no, I'll hold off this information until I bring up Indiana Jones. Okay. But I think you bring up good points in that it's hard to compare Indiana Jones to any previous installment because obviously those films are back in the 1980s when it's basically incomparable at the box office now. And the most recent film, of course, was in 2011, which is more than a decade ago. But
no. 2008.
2008. Oh my God, I can't believe that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it made 317 domestic. King of the Crystal Skull. So that's pretty goddamn big.
It is pretty goddamn big. But yeah, I'm talking, and I just quickly ran the inflation on that, and I'll bring that up in due time after I talk about my number five, which is The Flash.
Ooh, okay.
I get The Flash here. Okay, we're doing a lot of tongue biting. You're right. There's
not a lot of space to continue biting our tongues here.
Okay, so The Flash, $300 million. I'm saying for The Flash. I think you look at DC's biggest success, their best case scenario, Aquaman, $335 million. Came out at the end of 2018, had a long run, it came out in late December, had a long holiday season, and into January run. The Flash is coming out smack in the middle of the summer.
Yeah.
It also has some heavy competition, even coming out on the same day as it. It has 1 week, and then we are into Indiana Jones, I believe, is the week after that. Actually, no, that's not true. It is June 23rd is... Oh, excuse me. No, yeah, it is the week. It's got 1 week of Asteroid City coming out, and then Indiana Jones.
Yes.
I don't think this is going to do Aquaman numbers, at least domestically. I know that there's these things of, Michael Keaton is back as Batman, and people inexplicably, this is the greatest movie of all time, this thing, the greatest superhero movie ever made. But I've yet to hear that kind of acclaim coming from someone who isn't directly benefited by the financial success of this film, like James Gunn or David Zaslav or whomever.
Or Tom Cruise.
Who is an insane person. Or someone who attended the early CinemaCon screening of this film.
Sure.
Who is probably not going to be super negative because it's press, they all want access, fake news journalism, Tucker. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I just don't know if this is going to connect with audiences. I think it's going to be confusing. I think it's going to be unappealing to the eye for a lot of people, as it seems to be already. And I think it's just going to come out in a stacked season, and there's elements of superhero fatigue that we have to take into account as well.
It's true.
But I talked a lot there, Tucker. What do you think? You want to bring your thoughts on the Flash out here a little bit?
Well, I still have to bite my tongue. To explain why I think I disagree with you on basically everything you said. And of course, we're vibes-based prognosticating here. We don't know if any of this is actually true.
Yeah.
But what is that, superhero fatigue knocking at the window?
Oh, okay.
Oh boy, the end of the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy is here. And my number 4 slot, of course, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I think this movie could have been number 1. Yeah. And it's good, and it's on its best leg.
Sure.
But I don't think it's got its best legs, to be 100% honest. Positive, but kind of mixed reception coming out of its debut, which I think goes a little bit against what you were saying about the Flash, people who are there who want access being like incredibly positive. That was not true of the premieres of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. It comes out this week. The marketing kind of weird on it. We're in the deepest superhero fatigue that MCU has ever had with Quantumania, and of course, kind of, Shazam's not Marvel, but Shazam and Quantumania was a 1-2 awkward punch into the nuts for superhero movies.
Yes.
And I think, that combined with surprisingly lackluster marketing means that this is going to do fine, but I really just don't think it's going to capture the energy that it possibly could.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how we can throw around these terms, these words of, it's going to do fine and be the 4th highest grossing domestic movie of the year.
True, yes, but I think that is a disappointment for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I think I would like to see it do more. I like James Gunn and this franchise and this series of characters enough for it to be bigger, but I don't think that this film has its best leg under it.
Okay. We'll talk. I'll join in the conversation here because Guardians is also my number 4. Okay. I have Guardians at $350 million domestic, which I pulled up some recent MCU numbers here. So, starting at the very bottom of the barrel, we have Quantumania making 212 domestic. Above that, far above that, is Thor: Love and Thunder, 343. And then what do we have? We have a character that, debuted in the early era of the MCU that has gotten recent and regular installments. And people like that character. People like the Guardians. This is undeniable. I mean,
they were in that movie too.
That's true, exactly. Yeah. It's undeniable if you look at the domestic haul for Guardians of the Galaxy 2, making $389 million at the box office. Of course, this was in the golden era of the MCU when they were just basically printing money with their movies out in 2017.
They're printing a little money, but not as much as they want.
They were putting out their best work in 2017 with Homecoming, Guardians, and Ragnarok. Well, wait.
We reviewed Ragnarok again.
Broadly, it is understood to be one of their best.
Of course.
And then, of course, you have last year's Doctor Strange 2 making $411 million domestically. And Doctor Strange does not have the pull or the acclaim or the public love that Guardians of the Galaxy does. True. People recognize. I think James Gunn is becoming a household name for a lot of people. Sure. He is the head of DC now, and he is, this is a send-off for the Guardians. The marketing has been very clear. This is the last ride for the Guardians. People have emotional connections to these characters. I know I do, and they want to be there to see this, okay? The MCU movies are still events that have massive opening weekends. Yes. But I think that
Quantumania is still one of the biggest movies of the year, even if it was a disappointment.
Yes, but I think the craft and care that Gunn puts into all these movies, that people recognize in all of his movies, is enough to bring people back week after week. That's what I think.
Yeah, interesting. Well, you posit all these comparisons, but you still have Guardians doing worse than most of those. So why do you think that comparison is?
I mean, I think that the negative factors are still quite undeniable. I mean, Tucker, you bring up points about superhero fatigue, and I think you're right. People know that there's the Disney Plus factor as well that we've talked about a little bit. And yeah, I think that there is going to be a select number of people, maybe enough to make this a bit of a disappointment for Marvel, that are saying Marvel movies are going down the gutter. I don't really care about them anymore. They should have ended with Endgame. That's all too confusing for me to keep up with now. Yada yada yada. At the same time, Tucker, if I can swing back into the positive camp, though, Guardians has always been more divorced from the mainline MCU, and I think the public has always kind of recognized that. Also, pre-sales have ticked up in the recent days, apparently. I remember reading a Box Office Pro article, Box Office Pro saying that, the Guardians movies has always kind of lagged behind in those early pre-sales because they bring in more casual Marvel fans. Not the hardcore people. People are like, oh, those fun, jokey Guardians movies. I enjoy those. Yeah. And I think it'll be the case here, so I'm saying 350.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I mean, I have my weird numbers around that as well. Yeah. And we've got it in the same place.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
In the same place. Okay, so we're actually we're 2 for 2 here. Mm-hmm. But the question is, what is going to beat the Guardians of the Galaxy?
Our top 3s.
At their own game, and for me, Tanner, it's The Flash. My number 3 is The Flash. I have it above Guardians of the Galaxy for I think, as I said, kind of the opposite reasons that you do. I think, again, vibes-based analysis here.
Yes, of course.
The Flash is one of DC's biggest characters, and this movie has been percolating for so goddamn long that I think that they can't afford for this to fail. I think that, unlike a lot of the movies that we've been talking about, Fast X, Guardians 3, this movie has not had a lackluster marketing campaign. Mm-hmm. That trailer came out, got a lot of buzz, they put out another trailer, which I don't think has gotten the same amount of buzz, but reasonable marketing elsewhere. And this is their event movie. For the first time since BVS, or I guess Justice League. Yeah. And I think because of that, and because of the factor of, what is this? Oh, there's a Flash movie, and the multiverse concept and parallel berries is something more understandable now than ever. We just had, we will be having Spider-Verse around this time. We're coming off of Multiverse of Madness and No Way Home, and of course the first Spider-Verse. Multiverses make sense. Resetting timelines, all these crazy concepts, bringing back Michael Keaton. All this is just cultural knowledge now, but I think each of those elements give it enough of a strange allure for this to be a surprisingly big movie. I think that this might be the one in this season to sort of gobble up a lot of air where people aren't really thinking that it could, because of the superhero thing. But again, vibe-based analysis, I just feel like this is going to be the one to escape that, because there's got to be one that just does better, and then the rest around it don't do that well. And for me, I think it's going to be The Flash.
Okay, yeah. Tucker, I see all your points, and I am bringing out positives and negatives for all these films because we have them in common, obviously. I've said multiple times, and people have said this as well online, people have been saying, Tucker, that there has to be a reason why Warner Brothers haven't just given up on The Flash. They have
It's gotta be
something. If I think the movie's garbage, which, oh boy, it's shaping up that I might think that, they have to believe, their market research or whatever has to believe people are gonna love this thing. They believe in it. They showed it to people 2 months in advance or something like that. An unfinished version of the film for people who are going to be quite positive on it. And I only saw 2 or 3 dissenters being like, yeah, it's bad, but also superhero movies aren't my thing. So I don't know. I don't know what the trade off is there with those sort of caveats to their thoughts. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think this is going to make $1 billion or anything, anything of that measure. I don't think we have an Aquaman on our hands because, as I said, I think it's coming out in a stacked season. At the end of the day, they're really banking on people going to see it for Batman in the movie.
Yeah.
There's just something that feels off to me about that. We're
totally
calling
fair.
it The Flash. Do people care about Ezra Miller's The Flash? No, not really. But they're like, oh, Michael Keaton Batman. It's like the ultimate test of like nostalgia action figure you remember from your youth. Will that get people to go see it? I think it will, for sure. Yeah. But at the same time, like, I don't know. I'm just getting bad vibes from it. This is all vibes-based analysis. I'm getting bad vibes.
One interesting thing that I think kind of counteracts what you were saying, but I think is along that same line, is the idea of having this be an ensemble film of multiple superhero characters. Of course, we've got 2 Barry Allens, but we also have a super blank character in our car, Supergirl, and Batman that are prominent figures in this. All of the marketing is a Superman logo, a Batman logo, a Flash logo, all mixed together. This is kind of their Civil War equivalent, or having Hulk show up in Ragnarok, or having Iron Man show up in Homecoming. DC has not really had the opportunity since BVS and Justice League to have their characters matter to each other ever. I mean, the only like crossover, I guess, is that Henry Cavill's Superman showed up in the end credits of Black Adam, and Gal Gadot showed up as a joke in Fury of the Gods. But I think that is an interesting enough factor. People like seeing superhero characters come together. Of course. The highest performing superhero movies across the board are the ones where these personalities are clashing. It makes the fights flashier. It makes the concepts more interesting. But there's more personalities to bounce off of.
Those are also characters that they put in the legwork over a decade to build up. Not true. The debut of a character who are also like, also Batman is here, and also Superwoman is here, and all these things are also here. There's 2 Flashes, there's 2 Batmans. It's a lot. And what you need to be a big, big success is for people to be coming back week after week, week over week returns is what you need. And is The Flash really that kind of movie? It's going to be long. It is going to be convoluted across multiple universes and multiple versions of different characters. I think it's going to be an event that lots of people go to see the first opening week. But is it something that they're going to be like, yeah, I have to go see The Flash again?
Well, it's interesting because I kind of view that the opposite way, is it being sort of convoluted. If it is, we don't know, but presumably because of its concept, it's sort of convoluted on that level. I think that does make it interesting for multiple watches. Is really, what are you going to be picking out of? Okay, I saw this. I have it in my memory bank of like, okay, I know that Ben Affleck is going to show up at this point, and Michael Keaton's going to show up at this point, and then, presumably there's another cameo or 2 in there that'll bring people coming back. Like, I think that there's enough draw to multiple versions of characters, and DC's building on its own nostalgia of the early DCEU. We're having Zod come back. We're having Batfleck come back. These are elements that, like, that was, I guess, kind of when the DCEU was at its best. In like 2017, 2018.
But like,
so I don't know, man.
You talk about these things, and we're spending a lot of time on The Flash because I think it is it's the most intriguing.
It's the most interesting movie this summer.
Exactly. Yes. Cameos, okay? Cameos and having the theater reaction. We talk about Spider-Man No Way Home in this breath, $1 billion picture. But...
And even Multiverse of Madness, to a certain extent.
Well, I was looking at Multiverse of Madness because I'm like, how much of that was driven by people going there for the cameos first week? Don't want to be spoiled. And a lot. It made $187 million domestically opening weekend. Roughly about a half of what its total domestic haul was.
Yeah.
But, like, at the same time, you talk about No Way Home, it was an open secret that Toby and Andrew were going to be there.
True.
Do people know or care who's going to be in The Flash? Like, Henry Cavill...
I don't know what the other cameos are.
No, I mean, I've heard what they are, and they're not things of, oh my god, it's the Spider-Mans I remember from the past 20 years. It's not stuff like that, from what I've heard.
Okay.
And... I just don't know if that's going to be like, yeah, I remember when I saw this character in like a little flying by thing in the Speed Force for about 20 seconds. Sure. I have to go see that again. I just don't buy it.
Yeah. We'll see. We will see. I think this movie is so interesting to talk about that you and I will probably continue this conversation off air. But if we are to move on to our top No.
3. I gotta give my number 3. I gotta give my
number 3. That's right. I had flashed way higher.
Because I think we'll be talking about this one either next for you or at the very top for you, because I have The Little Mermaid at number 3.
You are making some big goddamn swings for your top 2, Tanner.
Oh boy, Tucker, I'm warming up. I'm warming up in the batter's box. I'm swinging, baby. 375 for The Little Mermaid. Okay. And I don't know. This is vibes-based analysis. It is well known to you and to anyone in my social circle that I hate these Disney live-action remakes with a passion. And maybe it's clouding my vision, but I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at the numbers, okay, Tucker? So obviously the ones that everyone brings up are the 2 Disney live-action remakes from 2019. The Lion King and Aladdin. And these are 2 different...
Crazy that we had 2 summer 2019 Disney live-action remakes, and they both made $1 billion.
And these are 2 very different films, I think, domestically, when we're talking about them. The Lion King made $543 million domestically. Yeah. Aladdin made...
I believe it's in our domestic top 10.
Yeah. Aladdin made $355.
Okay.
So, two very different tales. I think you're looking at a more of a Aladdin situation with The Little Mermaid.
Yeah, I
think those films are more talked about in the same breath. I think that when people think about why are people going to go see these Disney live action remakes, the songs I think are on a similar scale with Aladdin and The Little Mermaid. The Little Mermaid, from what I understand, is also like originally grossed less than like the Disney Renaissance stuff. It was also the first Disney Renaissance movie, so you trade off there. Yeah. I mean, the Little Mermaid is big. It's a big cultural touchstone for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But, I just look at it and I'm like, I don't know. There's something that feels off about it to me. I think maybe it's Disney burnout a little bit. I think that this is one, especially where parents might look at this one and say, I'm going to watch this on Disney+. I don't know if this is one where people are saying, I need to go to the theater to see it. I say that, of course, saying it's going to make $375 million at the box office, being the number 3 domestic film of the year.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just don't buy that it's going to be like this massive thing, especially when we consider what's coming out the week after it, which is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Sure, yes, which obviously... You have bitten your tongue, so that implies that Spider-Verse is even higher than this, which is fucking crazy. And we will get to that. But I have spoilers. I have the Little Mermaid at the top.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna sort of do my analysis here, and of course I'll mention that.
We'll talk about it.
I think that the Disney live action remake burnout is fictitious in your own mind, because those movies consistently made a ton of money while they were at their highest from 2016 to 2019, and now, Tanner, I don't know if you remember, but we haven't gotten one in theaters since The Lion King came out. There have been multiple of them. Mulan was in 2020. There was that fucking Lady and the Tramp movie that was Disney Plus, with the goddamn thing. We had Pinocchio last year. We had Peter Pan and Wendy kind of this year. I actually don't know if that follows the exact same story as Peter Pan. So there have been some, but they haven't been put out with this kind of marketing, with this kind of push, trying to capture that kind of nostalgia, with the attention to detail of the visuals that this movie looks to be having. Is this being a sort of bring everyone to the theater, experience this on the big screen movie? I think this is going to recapture some of that energy. I don't think it's going to go all the way to what Aladdin and Lion King did, but I think that still, with a lot of these movies either starting in weird places like Indiana Jones and Mission Impossible, like, are those the, top franchises? Or we're talking about Flash and Guardians and superhero fatigue being kind of weird, things holding them back. I just don't think Little Mermaid has anything really going against it from grabbing that top spot of it being the family movie that will have incredible legs, more than likely, and will probably open pretty big as well. I think that this is just pretty comfortably at that top spot, because I just don't have that many things going against it. Especially, again, I will reiterate, because there hasn't been one of these big live action remake theatrical releases since 2019, when 2 of them made $1 billion.
Okay. And Tucker, okay, so you've built your fortress of the Little Mermaid, okay? Now I'm gonna fire some dinky little arrows at it and see what you think. See if they find any little holes in your armor here. Okay. So Aladdin. Do you disagree that this is more of an Aladdin and less of a Lion King?
Yes.
You think why do you think it's more of a Lion King situation?
No, I think it's a little more Aladdin.
Oh, okay. So you said,
I agree.
Okay, so you do agree.
Yes, I agree.
And I think Aladdin really succeeded on Will Smith is the genie. Like he was a big focus of the trailers, of course. Who is the star that they've been highlighting in these trailers? We've hardly seen Melissa McCarthy's Ursula, and Ursula is no genie in the minds of Disney fans.
Mm-hmm.
And Halle Bailey, you know, she's a newcomer. She looks to be like very good in this film. She looks to be really belting out those songs, but she's not a Will Smith box office draw for a lot of these people.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, and I think you also have to. I look at the Lion King and I think a lot of people view that as like the first real Disney live action remake. It was pushed a lot. The Jungle Book wasn't as big. Of course, that is not nearly the title of The Lion King. And even Cinderella has been adapted and readapted time and time again before that. The Lion King was, we made photorealistic lions. Can you believe it, folks? They look like shit, and you can't tell what they're emoting, but can you believe it? It looks so real. And people were like, we can't believe it. We're gonna go see this 5 million times in the theater because we love this goddamn horse shit. And they did. And even then, they were shouting out, boom, 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 boom. They were going down the list of names that were in this. Beyonce is in this Lion King movie.
True, that's true.
And I just don't know if we have that same factor going in here.
Tanner, that's a good arrow. Yeah. That's a good arrow that, frankly, I hadn't really considered because in my mind, these movies, and I think, well, frankly, to sort of push back your arrow as it's coming at me, just a little bit. It's still coming at me, but I'm pushing back at it a little bit. Is most of these people don't go to see these movies because of the big names. The draw is
I see what you mean.
Is the title.
Yeah.
And so if you're going to see the Little Mermaid movie, you're going to see it because it's Little Mermaid.
You remember the Little Mermaid, and you want to see the Little Mermaid again.
I do think that the arrow is still coming at me because, unlike those other movies, it doesn't have that stacked cast or the super iconic, okay, we're putting this box office draw person in this role that's really going to sort of synergize these things. But, again, pushing back against the arrow, I think that is a problem and part of the reason why it's not going to recapture the energy of The Lion King. But I think that it is the Little Mermaid was not, as an animated movie, was not as big of a success as those movies, but I think it's on par with those movies nowadays. I think that as it has ground its way into Disney cultural canon, you think of it in the same breath as you do Aladdin and Lion King when you think of the animated films. And so I don't think using the disparity between the original box office success is frankly very comparable.
I think that's a fair point. And I think we can move off the Little Mermaid because I dread it, run from it. I think the Disney nostalgia still comes, Tucker.
Yes, absolutely.
And I think it'll still come on stronger than I am anticipating it will.
Yes.
But at the same time, I still gotta be like, if you want family stuff, if you want that family good time 4-quadrant all around week after week success, Little Mermaid's coming out in a stacked area. Okay, you got Spider-Verse the week after, and then you got 1 week, and then Elemental is after that. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. We'll see.
That is a good point. Mm-hmm. That it has other things in its similar area, sort of drawing it away. But frankly, I think that Little Mermaid might eat the lunch of those other movies.
Okay.
But Tanner, it's still time for my number 2.
Oh yes, please tell me.
Which again, Little Mermaid is my number 1, so fucking spoilers. Oh well. But Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1 is my number 2. I don't know. I think this movie is going to be gigantic.
I would love that to be true.
This is Vibe-based analysis. Yeah. But I think that, this has the most going for it. When we're talking about these other movies and we're trying to come up with reasons why they might not be performing at their best, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1, I think, only has good things going for it. It's coming out in a really nice spot. It's kind of coming after the other things that might be eating its lunch. And it's coming off of Tom Cruise being one of the biggest names ever. And with these trailers sort of selling the practicality and the scale and the scope and the spectacle of the stunts in this film, I am excited for this movie in a way that I've never been interested or excited for any other Mission Impossible movies. And frankly, I do think that Top Gun Maverick, as you were hinting to earlier, my thought process is we're in a post-Top Gun Maverick Tom Cruise world. He's doing it again.
He's back.
And
he's back and bigger than ever.
I think that that will convert, maybe not your parents,
okay,
but enough of that Top Gun Maverick crowd, even if you only grab a third of them, that's still
true. That's a good point.
More fans than have seen most movies.
Uh-huh.
So I think you just add that on top of the already reasonably sized Mission Impossible fan base, and that I think pretty quickly puts it up at that top couple spots.
Okay.
I mean,
okay.
you have it quite a bit lower.
Yeah, I do.
But I think that there's just nothing really going against this movie where you can talk about certain genres or companies flagging. Mission Impossible, primed by Top Gun, is at the best slot that it's ever had.
Yeah, I mean the only thing, and I mentioned this earlier, so I won't harp on this note too hard again, is the do I need to see the other ones to go see this one? That's the only thing. True. It's not a nostalgia thing from the 1980s. It's this franchise has been running since 1996, and that's a lot of time, and that's a lot
crazy.
Of movies. Do I need to watch all of them?
That's got to be one of the longest running current franchises, right?
No, that's Fast and Furious, as Vin Diesel said.
No, but he's a lying bastard because his first movie came out in, what, 2001?
Yeah, 2001. Yeah, I mean, Tucker, I would love Mission Impossible to end up where you're saying it's going to end up.
Yes.
But anyway, Tucker, my number 2 is one that we mentioned earlier. It is Indiana Jones in the Dial of Destiny.
You are really making some swings here, buddy. I respect it.
I'm still warming up in that batter's box, baby. I'm not ready yet. I'm still swinging. I'm juicing up like Barry Bonds, baby. Allegedly, almost certainly. Anyway, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Tucker, you mentioned the domestic haul of Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Yeah.
Which was, remind me again, it was somewhere in 315, somewhere abouts in,
let's go over that.
2008.
I'll pull it up again.
If you run that through an inflation calculator, Tucker, that is $425 million in today money, in 2023 dollars.
Real money.
In real money. And I'm still saying this is going to come in below that.
That's a fake ass 2008 money.
True. I'm saying Dial of Destiny is coming in at $400 million domestic. Mm-hmm. And I think it's just because it's Harrison Ford. It's Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
They have faith in this. It's premiering at Cannes. And I know it's kind of played out, and even the narrative has started to flip on this being your Jurassic World, your Top Gun of this year, to bring in the old fogies who remember Harrison Ford, who love this guy. But I don't know if that narrative flip is fair, frankly. I don't think we've seen any indication that is going to be the case. I mean,
I agree.
Yeah, I just think that, like, you look at what the past Indiana Jones legacy Harrison Ford is back movie did, and you lower that a little bit for Diminishing Returns doing that again, and I think I think you still have a very, very, very big movie and exciting trailers that nobody can deny are like, this is really exciting. It looks like a really great Indiana Jones adventure. He's doing Indiana Jones stuff again. It's undeniable, and I think you just have to be along for that ride, Tucker. You have to strap into the sidecar of whatever motorcycle he's driving and just go along.
Yeah, here's the thing. I completely agree with you, and I think that's why that movie is going to be huge. But frankly, I think I just put more stock in the other movies that I have higher than it, and I think it's a little bit ludicrous that you're like, yeah, this movie's gonna make more money than Little Mermaid. We will see. Mm-hmm. I appreciate the big swing. It certainly makes this conversation a lot more interesting. But hell, if you're right, that's a big get for you, buddy.
Yeah.
Or it'll be embarrassing. It's either one.
I think you just got to look at the numbers. Crystal Skull did 425 domestically, and I'm going lower than that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. Anyway, Tucker, what's your number 1?
You can go again.
You said your number 1.
Yeah.
So I have Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse at number 1.
Tanner,
yeah,
you are going to have such hard buyer's remorse for this. Or maybe you won't because you love Spider-Verse, I love Spider-Verse. Yeah. It's cool to have it at number 1. Mm-hmm. Sell me on this, buddy.
Okay.
You play your goddamn best right now. You can't stumble, you can't miss a fucking beat. Sell me on this shit.
Okay. Tucker, we all love Spider-Man. Do you love Spider-Man?
Yeah,
okay.
I love Spider-Man.
The world over, do you love Spider-Man? Yes, we all love Spider-Man. We love Spider-Man. We made No Way Home get $1 billion. It made, hang on, let me pull up the numbers again. It made $814 million domestically, okay?
Yeah.
And what are we doing? Tucker, we look at a Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Did not do great at the box office, but still did quite well. You know, it made $190 million domestically at a time when people were like, what is this? This is an animated Spider-Man movie. We just got started with a new live-action Spider-Man movie. This is not a Spider-Man that I recognize necessarily, but
the multiverse concept hasn't quite been sold yet for the mainstream viewer.
Of course. Tucker, thank you for bringing that up, because that's an element of it. People are all about multiverse now. They understand it, they get multiple Spider-Mans, and Tucker, we got 3 Spider-Mans in No Way Home. We're getting 1,000,000 Spider-Mans in this one. All sorts of different fun varieties that your kids can buy merchandise of. Okay, Tucker. So many different Spider-Man. The kids that you have, Tucker, that you personally have, they can all buy different Spider-Man merch.
My kids that I have are the ones crunching those numbers, figuring out why you bastards unsubscribe to Backlog.
Exactly. Those very same ones are going to go see Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse in theaters, because Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse Miles Morales is huge now. It has a huge
absolutely.
It has a huge following across multiple demographics. Children up to people our age are going to go see this, and they're going to...
Well, I think even beyond that, to be
absolutely.
honest, because this movie, that first movie has prestige. And not only does it have prestige, kids watching it, especially on Netflix when it was huge on Netflix.
It's been on streaming consistently.
Parents were watching it too.
Yeah.
And it's a movie that appeals to everyone. And this being the follow-up to that is I totally agree with you that it's building on just like everything.
Yeah. And I know that I can see it in my mind, the Cinderella tale of it making the first film making 190, and this one making upwards of $400 million at the box office.
Jesus Christ, Tanner.
Because it's just, people love Spider-Man. We gave No Way Home $814 million, and I know that we all love Tom Holland's Spider-Man, but I think when you talk about Spider-Man, you talk about Miles Morales and Into the Spider-Verse in that same vein.
Absolutely.
And, kids don't know who Andrew Garfield or Tobey Maguire is, but they know Miles Morales, okay?
It's true.
We have primed our audiences with going to see animated movies week after week with Super Mario Brothers, and I think it's going to happen again with Across the Spider-Verse.
Yes. Yeah. Unless Elemental and Spider-Verse coming out back-to-back kind of eats its lunch, and also unless...
Tucker, what are kids going to want to see?
Coming out back-to-back.
Do kids want to see Water Guy and Water Boy and Fire Girl, or do they want to be Spider-Man? Which one do they want to see, Tucker?
That's a great point. But I do think that the thing holding it, the only real criticism against this movie, I think you're overselling how much money it's going to make.
Okay.
Just by a tad.
Fair.
Almost, over 3 times as much is stretching it. That almost never happens for franchises. It would be very impressive if it did.
We didn't know what it was, and now we do.
That Spider-Verse being taken over by 2 films that are both in its wheelhouse that we both think are going to be in the top 10, in Flash also being a superhero movie and Elemental also being an animated kids movie, puts it in an interesting position. Oh, Tanner, good thing you did that. Put it back up. up.
Wait, there he is.
Yeah,
there he is. That's the guy who's going to top the domestic box office this year. And Joker, let me tell you something. Okay, so you bring up Flash and Elemental. I said my piece about Elemental already. Kids don't give a fuck. They want to see Spider-Man.
It's true.
And the Flash, Tucker, it's an animated film. Parents aren't going to take their kids and buy 2-3 tickets to go see they're going to see Across the Spider-Verse more than they're going to see The Flash, okay?
True.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because it's an animated movie. That's what you do. Yeah. That's what you go to see. I think the only thing that could hurt Across the Spider-Verse is the recent rumors and leaks and scoops that it's 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a little long. It's a little long.
How long is Flash?
Probably about that as well. Maybe longer.
Yeah.
But for an animated movie to bring your kids to, I think that's a little long to have them sit down for. Super Mario Brothers is a tight 90, and that's perfect.
Yeah, I think that's actually a big knock against it. Are there animated movies?
No, it would be, if it is 2 hours and 20 minutes, it would be the longest major studio animated release of all time.
Jesus, yeah, Tanner. I think that really.
We don't know if that's true. We don't know if that's true though. It's just a rumor. You know, we get these Killers of the Flower Moon-esque runtime reports all the time.
Yeah, that's true. Yes, but I don't think that's a fair comparison because you know what you can't do with an animated movie?
What's that, Tucker?
Edit in the same way. You need to prep all of these scenes by hand months in advance.
Yeah.
You can't just create a couple for fun and spend tens and tens of millions of dollars on every scene that you're going to create, and then to be like, oh, actually, it's too long, cut it. The animated movies are prepped differently. And they don't prep them with a longer runtime and then trim them down. That just doesn't happen. That'd be dozens of millions of dollars.
I've never made an animated movie before, and neither of you. So I don't know if we can rightfully say that. Okay, I think animated movies still have deleted scenes. Okay,
that's true, but not like possibly 40 minutes worth of deleted scenes.
Maybe someone pulled this number out of their ass. We don't know. It's just a rumor that I've been seeing on Twitter.
I had not heard that, and frankly, I know I'm just espousing something about animated movies being talked about differently. I think that guy's pulling that out of his ass.
Okay.
That doesn't make any fucking sense. I think they cannot do that.
Yeah.
That would not make sense from a monetary level. That would make the fucking budget of this movie balloon sky high. And it wouldn't make sense for getting this movie a lot of showtimes either.
Yeah.
Or appealing to kids.
I think regardless, you got a couple undeniable factors here.
Yeah.
Miles Morales as a character in these films has become huge and talked about in the same quality and favoritism level as Tom Holland's Spider-Man.
Sure, absolutely true.
You're getting the multiversal aspect of it. We are getting multiple different versions of Spider-Man, and we have seen that people love that stuff. If people love Andrew and Toby, they're probably going to go see the characters, different versions of those characters. Maybe even them showing up in this movie again, which is certainly possible. And
they sort of offhandedly mentioned the events of No Way Home in the trailer.
Yeah, exactly. Spider-Man 2099 literally talks about the events of No Way Home, and we've been prepped for families to go see animated films week after week with Mario.
True.
That's what I'm thinking.
This is the first big animated movie coming out after that, so that is a good point.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm thinking. And you don't even have the thing of, I can go watch Elemental on Disney Plus when it comes out. It's different. It's different.
Oh, true. Yeah, because Spider-Verse would go to fucking Stars
or something
in
like that.
2.5 months.
Yeah,
that's not a factor. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So there's my case. If I didn't say already, I'm gonna say 425. Sure, why not? I think over. Sure. I think 400 or thereabouts, a little over. So there it is, folks. I maybe we won't know. I was warming up for a long time in that batter's box. We won't know if I hit a home run until end of June, probably.
Yeah. Well, this will be very interesting to track. I think let's go over our top 10s again, and then maybe talk about a couple stragglers that we didn't get to, because this summer's movie season is more than these top 10, and that contributes to this being an even more crowded movie season than we've talked about. We've talked about 10 movies releasing in the next 3.5 months about. And that's not it.
Yeah.
There's still a number of them on here that I had to struggle to be like, ooh, wow, this could. But for me, my top 10 goes from the bottom to the top. Transformers, Rise of the Beasts, number 10. Haunted Mansion, number 9. Elemental, at number 8. Number 7, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Wow, that's a lot lower than you. At number 6, Fast X. Number 5, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Number 4, The Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Number 3, The Flash. Number 2, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. And number 1, The Little Marmalade.
Little Marmalade. Okay, mine top 10. Starting from number 10, going to number 1. Number 10, Barbie. Number 9, Oppenheimer. Number 8, Fast X. Number 7, Elemental. Number 6, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Number 5, The Flash. Number 4, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Number 3, The Little Mermaid. Number 2, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. And number 1, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Hardcore salute for that one. Oh, God. Now, frankly, the order of these movies is horse-punky. We have
mine's
idea
100% real.
We have no idea what's going to make what order these are going to end up in. I think we are pretty safe on most of those top ones making into the top 10.
What's interesting to point out is the main differences, if we want to talk about things that were omitted. You left off Barbie, Oppenheimer. I left off Transformers, Haunted Mansion. Otherwise, the rest of those 8 are just different variations of the same movies.
But I do think within that couple that we did exchange, that is kind of the make or break moment for us, because what we're going to be testing here is not if we got them in the right positions, because I think that'd be a little too ludicrous to measure. But which movies got on to that top 10? Of course, the 8 of them are the same or a wash.
And also like the top of our list. Who said which movie's going to be number one? Since we do have
that's true.
Very different ones, I would say.
Yes.
Okay.
We have very different rankings.
Tucker, some other things.
Yes.
Tucker. That I'll throw out.
Tanner?
Yeah?
The one that was really perplexing me was the Meg 2 The Trench.
Okay.
Will the Meg... Are the Meg fans gonna come out in droves for this movie? That
Meg
movie
fans?
made it into the top 10. Made it into the top 10 in 2019 for its summer season. And who the hell knows what this movie's gonna be? To be honest, I have much more faith in this movie being big because of its international box office, because the first one made a lot of money internationally. But I still think that there is a solid chance that this in that August when is it?
August 4th. And here's the thing.
Okay.
Quick thing about the Meg. August 4th. They have the 4. Make the 4 a shark fin in all the marketing, please, God.
Oh, because of the
because of the thing. Careful,
Sure.
Tuck. We're gonna get accused of being in the Illuminati.
Wow, that'd be terrible to thought of us.
Yeah,
Tanner.
I agree. It made 145. The first one did.
Yeah.
And there's also been not a lick or a sniff of marketing surrounding this film.
True.
We do know
point.
it's coming out this year. Confirmed at CinemaCon, is coming out on that August 4th date. But Tucker, you brought up Haunted Mansion maybe falling victim to some summer season movie fatigue. This is a week later than Haunted Mansion. So I just don't know. I just don't know if that's going to be the case. What else? We mentioned that we have no horror movies in our top 10. I don't know if
they're not releasing.
Yeah, I don't know if there commonly are horror movies that break into that top 10.
Black Phone.
Thank you. Well, that was also 2021 though. So yeah.
No,
2022. Excuse me.
Yeah, last year's top 10 for the summer was totally fine.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone was complaining about the summer for last year, but the Black Phone just did big.
Yeah, okay. Well, Tucker, I'm going to throw a couple names at you, and you tell me which one of these you think has the best potential to be in that
Marty
top 10.
slapping down talk to me before you even throw it.
Okay, well, I'll start at the beginning then. I'll start at the beginning of the summer. The Boogeyman, June 2nd.
No.
Okay.
That movie has terrible marketing. Apparently it's not that good.
No.
That movie's going to fail.
Okay. Insidious, The Red Door.
That is the only one that I really think could make it onto this list.
And
but also, is Insidious fever sweeping the nation? No, I don't fucking think so.
Yeah, and Talk to Me is the other big one.
I already slapped that down.
Okay, well, never mind then.
Yeah. Insidious is the only one that has a shot of sneaking into that bottom slot there. But, yeah, we got a trailer for it, right?
Yep, we did.
It doesn't... it just looks like a horror movie. Like, I've seen all the Insidious movies, and that did nothing for me. I don't know, man. I just don't think any of these summer horror movies got the sauce.
Okay.
I think we gotta wait till the end of the year with Exorcist and Saw and Five Nights at Freddy's. That's a good point. Really get that
That's
sauce.
A fantastic point, Tucker. Other things: Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Mutant Mayhem. Yeah. People like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Possible.
It's totally possible. This trailer seems quite promising. We're adopting that Spider-Verse style. Of course, that's going to be the number one film at the domestic box office, so people are going to be hungry for that stuff again come August. It also seems a lot more kid family oriented than like the Michael Bay produced ones were. So I think that is certainly possible there as well. Yeah. Let's see.
Blue Beetle, Tanner. Blue Beetle comes out this summer. I don't know, man. It's a movie to talk about. I'm not talking about movies that necessarily could make this top 10 because I don't really think that's possible for Blue Beetle because it's such a stacked season. But it's a superhero movie coming out this summer from DC.
That's undeniable, Tucker. Those are undeniable facts.
Boom. I'm spitting facts. I'm spitting facts. It's bars, as the kids say. Yeah, poor Blue Beetle, you know.
Tucker, can I
from conception?
Can I confide in you a little bit? And this is a good place to plug this. Right. You know, after an hour and 15 minutes into this video, I'm thinking about dropping Blue Beetle from my team.
Yeah, from your draft. Yeah.
And picking up a movie that we did talk about in this video. Okay. But you know, you'll have to wait and see.
Do we confide in what that is?
No, I'm not. I'm not going to tell you in case you steal it from me. Okay. But anyway, go watch our movie draft videos. We'll have one coming out in just a couple weeks after this video goes live. Our first update, where I will be proposing my drop and my pickup. So, live surprise for all the BLB drafters. Okay, Tucker. No Hard Feelings.
That's an interesting one.
We've seen rated R comedies break into the top 10. I've talked about like Girls Trip and stuff like that. We've seen it happen. Will it happen again? This is the most viewed rated R movie trailer of all time on YouTube, which is nuts.
Insane.
Or like the biggest debut.
I remember when
of
I
one.
heard that.
Yeah.
I remember when I heard that statistic. I'm like, how? Why? Like, what about this movie? But there apparently is something about this movie. I'm excited for it.
I think
I'm
it
a
looks
guy that
funny.
sees a lot of movies.
Yeah.
But this movie actually does have
taps
sauce.
into something primal in the human brain. I think that's an adoration of Jennifer Lawrence, as I think what that is.
Yeah, monkey brain reacts to that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
It would be
if that
super,
did.
Especially because this is coming out on the same day as two films we both have in that top 10, which is The Flash and Elemental. That's hardy competition for No Hard Feelings.
And that's what the movie's gonna make you feel, Tanner.
Yeah.
Hardy har.
Very good, Tucker. Gran Turismo.
The trailer came out today. I didn't watch it.
Yeah, I don't know. Doesn't instill me with great confidence in the film.
Yeah.
I think that's about it. I think we talked about every single movie, Tucker.
Every
Strays?
movie ever? Oh, Strays is gonna happen. Yeah, I think that what's kind of nice about the summer movie season is that there's so much content. There's so much content.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many movies and franchises that could make a lot of money. It makes it really interesting to pick this top 10. And frankly, as a movie fan, it makes it really exciting to go into the summer movie season knowing there's just not going to be any downtime. Like, we're going to be off the back of one movie into two movies, into an anticipated movie, until the end of a legacy,
into Barbie,
into
Oppenheimer,
another franchise.
What do you call it?
Exactly.
Barbie, Oppenheimer.
Oh, no. I can't remember what I said.
Okay. Tucker, what do you think? I'm going to softball. I forgot one more horror movie.
Barbenheimer?
Barbenheimer. That sounds right. I'm going to softball one more horror movie to you. And I don't think you've heard of this one, but I'm going to softball it to you anyways. August 25th, They Listen. Slapping that one down.
Does that have any marketing yet?
No, but it's a Blumhouse one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Blumhouse movies don't usually make that kind of money.
Yeah. It's also late August, so they don't have the kind of faith in this that like A24 hasn't talked to me, or they have, or whatever studio has in Insidious. So
we've also got
Blumhouse has Insidious, right? They have Insidious.
I think so.
Yeah.
But two final movies to mention here.
Okay. Lay them on me.
Well, actually, okay. I'm gonna say three movies. Okay. None of which I think have there's no shot.
I'm gonna give you a yes or thumbs up, thumbs down. These ones. Here we go.
No, you just set your thumb down because none of these are gonna make it.
Okay, I'm ready.
Ruby Gillman, Teenage Kraken. another. Hey, they're coming hot off the heels of Puss in Boots.
Tucker, when does that one come out?
August, right before the Meg.
What? Really? I thought it came out soon. Anyway.
No. Yeah. Okay, you got, but that's. Oh, I see.
Oh yeah. I'm ready to give it a thumbs up, thumbs down.
The Last Voyage of the Demeter.
Listen, it looks cool. Yeah, I'm excited for that one.
And How Do You Live is also this summer. But here's the thing: each of these movies have some reason to be excited for them, and add. Also, Asteroid City is this summer. Joyride is this summer. There's just a lot coming out that's like in that sort of BC tier area that's not going to make a ton of money. That doesn't mean they're not exciting.
Yeah, I agree. Tucker, I agree.
Is that where the thought ends? Well, guys, we did it. We talked about a lot of movies here. We debated them. We prognosticated. We put out a lot of crazy things. I mean, I said that Haunted Mansion is going to be in the top 10. You said that Spider-Verse is going to be number 1. There's a lot of claims going on here that's going to make it really exciting for us to check back in at the end of the summer movie season once the final grosses for all of these movies have come in and see who come out on top. If you want to play along, you've got months to do this. I mean, Guardians comes out this week, but like we won't know the final total for that or where it's going to be on the list for a month at least. Yeah. So you got a month to put your predictions in, and if you're more correct than we are, I'll read it out when we check back in on this. Absolutely. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Again, go watch our movie, Jeff. Frankly, should have said that at top. I think this kind of appeals to the same demographic. But if you're a movie fan, we're going to be reviewing every single one of these movies. I want to try my damnedest not to miss a slot like we did last year when we didn't review Minions: The Rise of Gru. You know what I'm saying?
God, what a missed opportunity. How could we?
I think about that like probably every 2
Tucker,
weeks.
Is it going to haunt you that we didn't review Sisu or Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret?
No, because those are smaller releases. Well, bye guys.